Good afternoon, everyone. We are the Market Trends, the fifth group, and the presenter of the topic for today. My name is Shane Marie Danao, the first reporter, and I am here together with the other members of the group.
So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Princess Margarett D. Galopo, the second presenter, and I am together with my other groupmate.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Franchesca Daniella Castaneda, and I am the last reporter.
So, as the first reporter, I will now present the PowerPoint presentation and the topics that we prepared for today. So, we will be discussing identifying market segments and selecting target markets. In this discussion, we will address the following questions. Okay, next. So, how and why is segmentation applied to consumer and business markets? How can a company use mass customizations to effectively meet the needs of individual customers? And what targeting strategies can a company use to select and enter the most attractive market segments? Okay, so what is marketing? So the word marketing somehow became familiar to all of us because it was the first thing we all learned at the start of this subject. We even did a research and dissect it. So marketing is the activity set of institutions and processes for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and society at large. So there are two approaches in marketing. The first one is shotgun approach and the second one is rifle approach. So these two approach are one of the long-standing arguments in business whether to use the shotgun or rifle approach in marketing. So shotgun marketing is to reach a large audience through a wide-ranging approach to let the audience know the variety of services offered by the firm. Shotgun approach typically involves reaching as many people as you can, such as mass marketing through TV, cable, and radio. So this strategy works best for firms that offer a wide range of services at competitive prices such as bookkeeping, attest services, task tax preparation, valuation, employee benefits, and general consulting. On the other hand, rifle marketing involves targeting your audience more closely. So, rifle approach is an advertising strategy that involves targeting a clearly defined audience effectively and efficiently through clearly defined promotional strategies. So, instead of mass advertising, you identify the publications that attract the demographics that are likely to be interested in your products. You do direct mail where you can better pinpoint your market. So, in short, a shotgun approach a shotgun approach targeting a broad base of potential clients, or a rifle approach in which they focus more narrowly on certain selected targets. So as we can see, both approaches have their benefits. However, in my opinion, rifle marketing is better suited for resource challenge small and home-based businesses, especially right now. So carefully targeting your market is a better use of your limited resources, and they might take interest more because you directly message them. Small businesses cannot always afford to spend big amount of money in marketing expenses that yield no immediate results. So the next topic is target market. So a target market refers to a group of potential customers to whom a company wants to sell its product and services. So target marketing involves breaking a market into segments and then concentrating your marketing efforts on one or a few key segments consisting of the customers whose needs and desires most closely match to your product or service offerings. So it can be key to attracting new business, increasing sales, and making your business a success. So the beauty of target marketing is that aiming your marketing efforts at specific groups of consumers makes the promotion, pricing, and distribution of your products and services easier and more cost effective and provides a focus to all of your marketing activities. The most targeted marketing strategies are built around meeting each customer's unique requirements. So, target marketing requires marketers to take three major steps. steps. So what are these? The first one is market segmentation, the second step is market targeting, and the third is market positioning. So market segmentation is you will identify and profile distinct groups of buyers who might require separate products or marketing mixes. While market targeting is select one or more market segments to enter, and market positioning is establish and communicate the product's key distinctive benefits in the market. However, in this chapter, it focuses on the first two steps only, and the following chapter will discuss positioning strategy. So the first step is market segmentation. Next. So, market segmentation refers to the classification of prospective consumer groups in accordance with their needs and requirements and their tendencies to generate a similar response to a particular marketing action. So, segmenting a market, simply put, is separating a group of customers belonging to the mass market into smaller groups of customers with similar needs and behaviors. So, in doing so, a company establishes a target market for their marketing efforts, which what we call target market, and can therefore better customize its services and products to meet the target's preference. The purpose of segmentation is to learn as much as possible about the consumers and with this information begin to craft highly targeted marketing campaigns. This is a much more affordable, effective, and efficient way to reach potential clients and generate revenues. A good marketing strategy or a good market strategy and thus a proper segmentation can increase your competitiveness, brand recall, customer retention, communication, and expand your market. So in summary, target the right segment and you will walk away with a better company and higher profitability. As for more information about market segment, the second reporter will discuss it now.
So, I am the next reporter. So before proceeding to the next topic, let me briefly summarize what market segmentation is all about. So a while ago, Ms. Shane Danao gave us a brief discussion about what market segmentation is all about. So to sum it up, market segmentation helps company to know more their customer, identify what is needed in their market segment, and determining how they can best meet those needs with their product or service. And according to Philip Kotler, market segmentation is a subdividing of market into a homogeneous subsection of customer. So where any subsection may be conceivable and be selected as a market target to be reached with a distinct marketing mix. So for short, marketing segmentation means is a group according to their similarity that shares one or more characteristic that cause them to have a relatively similar product needs. So, I will now discuss the levels of market segmentation. So, to be able to understand the buyer's wants and need, the company can apply one of these segmentation, and these are, first one is the segment marketing or the market segment. Two, the niche marketing. And three, local marketing or local areas. And lastly, the individual marketing. So first, I will discuss what is segment marketing. So, a segment marketing consists a group of customers who shares a similar set of needs and wants. So, they are the identifiable group within a market with similarity in terms of wants, purchasing power, geographical location, and buying attitudes. So, for example, in a car market industry, an automaker may distinguish car buyers who are primarily seeking low cost basic transportation, those seeking a luxurious driving experience, and those seeking driving thrills and performance, or they may be looking for car safety. So we must be careful not to confuse a segment and a sector. So a car company might say that it will target young middle car buyers, but the problem is young middle income buyers will differ about what they want in a car. Some will want a low cost car, or others will want an expensive car. So young middle car buyers are a sector, not a segment. So, but remember, a marketer does not create the segment. The marketer's task is to identify the segment and decide which one to target. So, segment marketing offers key benefit over mass marketing. So, the company can presumably better design or better design a product, disclose and deliver the product and service to satisfy the target market. So the company can also fine tune the marketing program and activities to better reflect competitors in marketing. However, even segment is partially a fiction. So in that not everyone wants exactly the same thing. So according to Anderson and Narus, they urge the marketers to present a flexible marketing offerings to all members of a segment. So this called a flexible marketing. So a flexible marketing offers consists a two parts. So the first one is the naked solution. So it pertains to the product and services that elements and all market segments prefer. So, for example, Delta Airlines offers all economy passengers a seat and a soft drinks, while it charges economy passengers for extra for the alcoholic beverages that they offer. So the second one is the discretionary option. So the discretionary option, this pertains to some segment members like, and each option might carry an additional charge. So for example, Siemens Electrical Apparatus Division sells a metal clad boxes to small manufacturers, includes free delivery and warranty. But they also offer installation, tests, and communication peripherals as extra cost. So basically, Electrical Apparatus Division sells a metal clad, but they offer an additional charge, which is the installation, test, communication peripherals, and it has an extra cost. So for the final note, segment marketing allows firm to create a more fine-tuned product or services offering and price it appropriately for the target audience. So the choice of distribution channels and communication channels become much easier, and the firm may find it faces fewer competitors in a certain segment. So the next one is the niche marketing. So, a niche market is a narrowly defined group of individuals who have the same specialized interests and needs, and who have a strong predisposition to buy what you are selling. So, an attractive niche is characterized as follow. So, the customer in the niche have distinct set of needs. They will pay a premium to the firm that best satisfy their needs, and the niche is not likely to attract competitors. So the niche gains certain economies through specialization, and the niche has size, profit, and growth potential. So to illustrate, let's go to my example. So let's go to malling. So most, if not all, are the shopping malls here in the Philippines and even outside the Philippines have several shoe stores. So they are standing next to each other and across from each other. But the question is, are they after the same customer? Definitely not. So each store has a distinct niche. So one store lure active and adventurous men. So the other store can pulls in a school children. Or the third one, which carries a high-end lady shoes that tempts young career women. So while the fourth runs to after to the low to middle income conservative women. So their products are not overlapping. So the final note for the niche marketing, a niche market enables you to direct your communication with great precision. So the narrower you define your niche, the more convenient and efficient it is to provide for the needs of those people. So more importantly, a high defined niche market can insulate your product or your service from competition. So the third one is the local marketing. So local marketing is a marketing tailoring brand promotions to promote local customers or also known as a grassroots marketing. So in this, uh, additional information, grassroots marketing can be also known as guerrilla marketing. So the concept of this is the concept of this is to launch your message. You hope you will appeal to many people, but you target your efforts to a small group and hope that group will spread your message to a larger audience. So for example, so here in my illustration, I will show you the McDonald's zebra crossing. So they call this McFry's pedestrian crossing. So the main motive behind this street marketing is to advertise the product or the brand on the street and in public places to grab the user's attention. So the McFry's pedestrian crossing is created to create awareness among their customer, and especially most small companies also prefer this kind of advertising. So now I will proceed to the individual marketing. So this is the last step for the levels of market segmentation. So this is the ultimate level of segmentation. So this pertains to tailoring products and programs to the needs of individual customer. So this led to segments of one or customized marketing or one-to-one marketing. So this is called the customerization. So it empowers the consumers to design the product or service they are offering based on their customer's choice. So for example, Gucci, Hermes, Virtu, Burberry, and Louis Vuitton are famous fashion brands that deals with their customer personally. So they make clothes and other products keeping in mind that the taste of every individual must be prioritized. So matrimonial sites are one of the best example of individual marketing. Now, we will proceed to the patterns of market segmentation. So, market segments can be defined in many different ways. One way to curve off a market is to identify preference segment. So, suppose an ice cream buyers are asked how they value sweetness and creaminess as two product attributes. So there are three different patterns can emerge. So the first one is the homogeneous preference. So the homogeneous preference is a market where all the customers have roughly the same preference. So the market shows no natural segment, which would predict that existing brands would be similar and a cluster around the middle of the scale in both sweetness and creaminess. So the second one is the diffuse preference. So, at the extreme, consumers' preference may be shattered throughout the space. So, indicating the consumers vary greatly in their preference. So, it might be the first brand to enter the market is likely to position itself to appeal the most people. So, the second competitor could locate the next to the first brand and fight for a market share. Or it could locate in a corner to attract a customer group that was not satisfied with the first or the center brand. So the last is if several brands are in the market, they are likely to position themselves throughout the space and show the real difference to match difference in consumers' preference. So lastly is the clustered preference. So in this, market reveals distinct preference cluster that is called a natural market segment. So the first firm in this market has three options. So the first option, it might position in the center, hoping to appeal all the groups. The second is it might position in the largest market segment or called concentrated marketing. It can develop several brands, each position in a different segment. And lastly, if the first firm develop only one brand, competitors would enter and introduce brands in the other segment. So the final note for the patterns of market segmentation, smart marketers examine such segmentation patterns carefully to better understand the various positions they might take in the market and the competitive implication. After understanding the market segmentation, we will now proceed to market segmentation procedure. So marketers use three-step procedure for identifying market segments. So the first stage is the survey stage. So in this stage, the researcher conducts exploratory interviews groups and focus groups to gain insight into customer motivation, attitudes, and behavior. Then, the researcher prepares a questionnaire and collects data on attributes and their importance rating, brand awareness, brand rating, product usage, pattern, attitudes towards to the product category. And the respondents' demographic, geographic, psychographic, and media graphics. So the next stage is the analysis stage. So in this stage, the researcher applies the factor analysis to the data to remove the highly correlated variables. Then applies a cluster analysis to create a specified number of maximally different segments. And the last stage is the profiling stage. So each cluster is profiled in terms of distinguished attitudes, behavior, demographics, psychographics, media patterns, and then each segment is given a name based on its dominant characteristic. So to better understand the importance of market segmentation, I will continue to discuss the segmenting consumer and business market. So because of the inherent differences between consumer and business marketers, marketers cannot use exactly the same variables to segment both. So instead, they use one broad group of variables as the basis for the consumer segmentation and another broad group for business segmentation. So let's talk about the basis for segmenting consumer markets. So, in segmenting consumer market, in segmenting consumer markets, marketers can apply geographic, demographic, and psychographic variables related to the consumer characteristic as well as the behavioral variables related to the consumer responses. So once the segments are formed, the marketers see whether different characteristics are associated with each consumer response segment. So I will now discuss first the geographic segmentation. So geographic segmentation, it calls for the dividing the market into different geographical units such as nation, states, region, counties, cities, or neighborhood. So it refers to a defined geographic boundary such as city or zip code, or the area or the type of area such as the size of the city or the climate. So the company can operate in one or few geographic areas, or can operate in all, but they need to pay attention to the local variation. So for example, a great example of geographic segmentation is a clothing retailer that presents both in online or in mall. So customers with different products are based on a weather or a season in a region they reside. So here, a customer in New York City will require a different clothing that needed in winter months. So since in New York, uh, it is a cold and winter climate, while in Los Angeles, they need more summer vibe or a refreshing clothes to what you call this, to avoid the pressure or more sweating in your body, so they prefer a nice cool clothes. So next one is the demographic segmentation. So demographic segmentation is one of the most popular and commonly used type of market segmentation. So it refers to the statistical data of, about of a group of people. So it pertains to age, gender, income, location, family situation, annual income, education, and ethnicity. So in the in demographic segmentation, the most popular consumer segmentation, so this method identifies the consumer wants, preference, and usage rate, and these data are often associated with demographic variables. So here is how certain demographic variables have been used to segment consumers market. So first, I will discuss about the age. So in age, a demographic segmentation strategy in which a product market is grouped into segments based on the basis of age. So the organization can more precisely target its offering to the needs and wants of each stage of life of interest to it. So in this way, an organization may develop different products and different marketing approach for school children, teens, young and married couples, matured adults, elderly citizen, since consumer wants and abilities can change with age. So next is the gender. So gender segmentation is the process of dividing of potential markets based on gender, whether it is a male, female, bi, or LGBT. So gender segmentation is done when a company which manufactures products wants to focus only towards boys and girls. So as the product are very gender specific. So the third one is the income. So income demographic segmentation is when people are segmented by their monthly or yearly income. So you can segment them based on their personal income or household income. So this is the most effective when you have a specific product for a specific niche at a higher price point. And the fourth one is about generation. So each generation are like baby boomers, Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, digital era, millennium. So they represent a different sets of needs, priorities, and preference. These age-based subgroups desire different products and services. So the last one is the social class. So, social class segmentation identifies individuals based on a combination of socio-economic, such as education, occupation, income, family background, and attitudes related to these factors. As a result, producers target versions of their products, and their promotion is varies on the various lifestyle segments. So the next reporter will be discussing uh, psychographic and behavioral segmentation. So I will now pass the stage to Miss Shane Danao.
So again, I'm Shane Marie Danao and I will continue the discussion of other kinds of segmentation. So the next one is psychographic segmentation. So in psychographic segmentation, buyers are divided into different groups on the basis of lifestyle or personality and values. So people within the same demographic group can exhibit very different psychographic profiles. So in a few words, psychographic segmentation is when you break your customer groups down into units as it pertains to their beliefs, values, and reasons for being. The first the first psychological aspects that influence consumer purchase behavior is lifestyle. Lifestyle is where people exhibit many more lifestyles than are suggested by the seven social classes, and the goods they consume express their lifestyle. So, segmentation by lifestyle considers where the customers or client is in their life cycle and what is important to them at that exact time. Like how do they start and end their day, what do they do on the weekend, and how do they spend their free time. With a good understanding of consumer lifestyle and habits, marketers can curate marketing messages that speak at the right time. And the second psychological aspects that influence consumer purchase behavior is personality. Marketers can endow their products with brand personalities that correspond to consumer personalities. So, when a consumer can relate to the characteristics of a brand, product, or service, they are more likely to engage with it. Like for example, Apple computers, iMac computers have a friendly, stylish personality that appeals to buyers who do not want boring, ordinary, and personal computers. And the last one is values. Core values are the belief systems that underlie consumer attitudes and behavior. So, value is one of the most important psychographic segmentation out there. Task about what your customers believe in, what's their opinion and attitude on a certain subject, what's their hobby and interest in. And based on the values that customers hold, brands know when to talk about a specific issue, send messages to kind their customers' interest and encourage purchase encourage purchase. So the next segmentation is behavioral. Behavioral segmentations where buyers are divided into groups on the basis of their knowledge of attitudes toward the use of or response to a product. So users may share the same life cycle stage, previously purchased particular products, or have similar reactions to your messages. Behavioral segmentation isn't about just recognizing that people have different habits. It's about optimizing marketing campaigns to match these behavioral patterns with a particular messages. So, many marketers believe that behavioral values, which is occasions, benefits, user status, usage rate, loyalty status, buyer readiness stage, and attitude are the best starting points for constructing market segments. The first one that mentioned is occasions. So buyers can be distinguished according to the occasions on which they develop a need, purchase a product, or use a product. So this component of behavioral segmentation considers the timing within a customer's life, year, or day as a determinant of making a purchase. So, life milestone purchases such as an engagement ring or house, seasonal purchases like holiday decorations and gift, and daily purchases like coffee or food are all variations or of occasion purchasing. So, for example, Starbucks uses a behavioral segmentation to target their regular morning customers with an incentive to get them back in for another purchase later in the day. Since these regular users will likely have an afternoon coffee or on occasion, Starbucks uses email marketing and push notifications within their mobile app to offer happy hour events. Other differentiating factors of behavioral segmentation are the benefits different users seek from an experience. So, in benefits, buyers can be classified according to the benefits they seek. So, when a person made purchases, they do so based on the belief that they will receive a certain value or benefit from using the product or service. Like for example, when a person purchases things like toothpaste, they lean towards different value propositions. Some may be looking for whitening benefits, while others seek to comfort to their sensitive gums. Dividing consumers based on these factors embodies the benefits sought segmentation. The next one, the next one is user status. Markets can be segmented into non-users, ex-users, potential users, first-time users. In non-users, they may need to be made aware that they have a problem in the first place, so they will learn that they need to buy your product or service. In ex-users, they were the former customers who have switched to a competitor who might come back to your brand if you fix the issue that caused them to leave. In potential users, you have to let them know why your product or service is their best option, and the first-time users may need further instruction on how to use your product, and as marketers, you should explain your product to them patiently. Next slide. So the next one is usage status. Marketers can be segmented into light, medium, and heavy product users. In heavy users, or aka super users, they are the most avid and engaged customers that spend the most time using your product or service and purchase most frequently. So, in medium users or the average users or mid-level users, customers that semi-regularly but not frequently use or purchase your products, often time or event based. While the light users, customers that use or purchase much less than the other customers, sometimes even only once. So, segmenting by usage helps brands understand why certain types of customers become heavy or light users. It enables them to test different marketing initiatives to increase usage from lower use customers and potentially attract new heavy usage customers. Next slide. So the next one is loyalty status. Buyers can be divided into four groups according to brand loyalty status. The first one is hardcore, second one is split loyal, the third one is shifting loyal, and the fourth are switchers. Loyal customers are the most beneficial clients for any business since they have the highest lifetime value. It is cheaper to retain existing customers than acquiring new leads. Besides generating repeat revenue from your business, loyal customers are incredibly useful in terms of referrals, word of mouth, and feedback. So, buyers can be divided into four groups according to brand loyalty status, and the first one is hardcore loyal. were the ones who always buy one brand. The split loyal who are loyal to 2 to 3 brands. Shifting loyal is where consumers who shift from one brand to another, and the switchers were the ones who show no loyalty to any brand. So, buyer readiness stage. A market consists of people in different stages or readiness to buy a product. Some are unaware of the product, some are aware, some are informed, some are interested, some decide the product, and some intend to buy. The relative numbers make a big difference in designing the marketing program. The next one is attitude. Attitude segmentations help marketers better understand their customers and their perceptions and behavior. So there are 4 attitude groups can be found in the market: enthusiastic, positive, indifferent, negative, and hostile. For example, a sales lady was advertising a certain product. She always smiled whenever a customer walks by and informed them about her product. She thanked enthusiastic customers who bought her product, and those who were still indifferent, she spent her time to convince them about her product. The next segmentation is multi-attribute segmentation, also known as geoclustering. So, one of the most promising developments in multi-attribute segmentation is geoclustering, which yields richer descriptions of consumers and neighborhoods than does traditional demographics. Geo- Geoclustering segmentation is when a company divides its customers based on in which geographical region they live in. It is a good tool when a company has several shops in different locations. This way they can serve the local needs better. This way they can serve the local needs better, and thus the customers can reach higher level of satisfaction. For example, if you manage a restaurant chain, you should use this method. So as for other kinds of segmentation and the remaining topic, the next reporter will discuss it now.
So, good afternoon everyone. Again, I am Franchesca Daniella Castaneda. What I will report is all about bases for segmenting business market and effective segmentation. Market segments consist of a group of customers who share a similar set of needs and wants. Next slide. So, how should business markets be segmented? There are some variables business markets can be segmented. The first variable is demographic. This variable gives a broad description of the company and relate to general customer needs and usage patterns. Under this variable, there are 3 factors. First is industry. Knowledge of the industry affords a broad understanding of customer needs and perception of purchase situations. Marketers may wish to subdivide individual industries. For example, although financial services are in a sense a single industry, commercial banks, insurance companies, stock brokerage houses, and savings and loan associations all differ dramatically. Second is company size. The fact that large companies justify and require specialized programs affects market segmentation. It may be, for example, that a smaller supplier of industrial chemicals, after segmenting its prospective customers on the basis of company size, will choose not to approach large companies whose volume requirements exceed its own production capacity. Third is location. It is an important variable in decisions related to deployment and organization of sales staff. The second variable is operating variables. This variable is generally stable. Under this variable, there are 3 factors. First is technology. Involving either its manufacturing process or its product goes a long way toward determining its buying needs. Example, the production of Japanese color televisions is highly automated and uses a few large integrated circuits. In the United States, on the other hand, color TV production once involved many discrete components, manual assembly, and fine-tuning. Second, user or non-user status. One of the easiest ways, and in some situations the only obvious way, to segment a market is by product and brand use. Users of a particular product or brand generally have some characteristics in common. At the very least, they have a common experience with the product or brand. Third, customer capabilities. Marketers might find companies with known operating, technical, or financial strengths and weaknesses to be an attractive market. For example, a company operating with tight materials inventories would greatly appreciate a supplier with a reliable delivery record, and customers unable to perform quality control tests on incoming materials might be willing to pay for supplier quality checks. Some raw material suppliers might choose to develop a thriving business among less sophisticated companies, for which lower than usual average discounts will compensate added services. So the third variable is purchasing approaches. It is the one it is one of the most neglected but valuable methods of segmenting an industrial market involves consumers' purchasing approaches and company philosophy. Under this variable, there are five factors. First is purchasing function organization. The organization of the purchasing function to some extent determines the size and operation of a company's purchasing unit. Second, power structure. These also vary widely among customers. The impact of influential organizational units varies and often affects purchasing approaches. Third, nature of existing relationships. Relationships. A supplier probably has stronger ties with some customers than with others. The link, the link may be clearly stated. A lawyer, commercial banker, or investment banker, for example, might define as an unattractive market segment. All companies having as a board member the representative of a competitor. Fourth, general purchase policies. Fourth, general purchase policies. A financially strong company that offers a lease program might want to identify prospective customers who prefer to lease capital equipment or who have meticulous asset management. Fifth, purchasing criteria. Purchasing criteria. The power structure, the nature of buyer-seller relationships, and general purchasing policies all affect the purchasing criteria. Benefit segmentation in the consumer goods market is the process of segmenting a market in terms of the reason why customers buy. The fourth variable is situational factors. Situational factors resemble operating variables but are temporary and require a more detailed knowledge of the customer. Under this variable, there are three factors. First, urgency. Some companies have found a degree of urgency useful for market selection and for developing a focused market manufacturing approach, leading to a hot order shop, a factory that can supply small urgent orders quickly. A supplier of large-size, heavy-duty stainless steel pipe fittings, for example, defined its primary market as fast-order replacement. Second, specific application. It can have a major impact on the purchase process and purchase criteria, and thus on the choice of vendor. The requirements for a 5 horsepower motor used in intermittent service in a refinery will differ from those of 5 horsepower motor in continuous use. Third, size of order. Market selection can begin with the individual line entries on the order form. Example, a company with highly automated equipment might segment the market so that it can concentrate only on items with large unit volumes. The last variable is personal characteristics. People, not companies, make purchase decisions, although the organizational framework in which they work and company policies and needs may constrain their choices. Under this variable, there are three factors. First is buyer-seller similarity. Similarity in buyer-seller work attitudes, life stage, and personality are found to have differential effects in facilitating open communication relationships, investment, and relationalism. Second, attitudes towards risk. Some buyers are risk averse, others risk receptive. The level of risk a buyer is willing to assume is related to other personality variables such as personal style, intolerance for ambiguity, and self-confidence. Third is loyalty. Companies that show high loyalty to their suppliers. Next. So, looking beyond small businesses, marketers can be more effective even within mature commodity industries if they use segmentation for better targeting. Rangan, Moriarty, and Swartz found this for business segments within the steel strapping industry. Programmed buyers. These buyers are neither price or service sensitive. They buy routine products according to a purchasing program. Relationship buyers. They value partnerships and are not super price sensitive. Product may be moderately important to operation. Transaction buyers. For them, price is important but considerations are made to service depending upon the importance of product. Bargain hunters. For them, price is everything but always relative to importance of product. So the last topic is effective segmentation. To be effective, market segments must be measurable, accessible, substantial, differential, and actionable. Measurable, the size, purchasing power profiles of segments can be measured. Accessible, segments can be effectively reached and served. Substantial, segments are large or profitable enough to serve. Differential, segments must respond differently to different marketing mix elements and programs. Actionable, effective programs can be designed to attract and serve the segments. Next. Market targeting. It is the process of evaluating each market segment's attractiveness and selecting one or more segments to enter. In evaluating market segments, any company must look at two factors. First, the firm must ask whether a potential segment has the characteristics that make it generally attractive, such as size, growth, profitability, scale economies, and low risk. Second, the firm must consider whether investing in the segment makes sense given the firm's objectives and resources. In selecting the market segments, having evaluated different segments, the company can consider 5 patterns of target market selection. The first pattern is single segment concentration. In this firm, it selects a single segment. It is also called as concentrated marketing. Example, the company X uses this strategy when it produces a typical product for a single type of market, like plasma TV. Next. Second pattern is selective specialization. The firm selects a number of attractive and appropriate segments and develop products that appeal to each segment. Example, if the company X produces plasma TV as well as Walkman, the two different types of products obviously for two different types of markets, then it can be cited as an example of selective segment specialization strategy. So, the third pattern is product specialization. The firm makes a certain product that it sells to several segments. Example, if the company X produces only a particular type of gizmo, like toaster that is consumed by all type of people, then we can say that the company uses product specialization strategy. The fourth pattern is market specialization. The firm concentrates on serving many needs of particular customer group. Example, the company X can implement market specialization strategy by producing all sorts of home appliances like TV, washing machine, refrigerator, and micro oven and microwave for middle class people. Fifth and the last pattern is full market coverage. Here, a firm attempts to serve all customer group with all of the products they might need. Only very large firms can undertake a full market coverage strategy. Example, computer market, vehicle market, and drink market. Large firms can cover a whole market in two broad ways through differentiated marketing and undifferentiated marketing. Differentiated marketing, this firm operates in several market segments and designs different programs for each segment. While undifferentiated marketing, this firm ignores market segment differences and goes after the whole market with one market offer, targeting multiple segments and super segments. Companies start out by marketing to one segment, then expand to others. Example, Paging Network Incorporation, known as PageNet, is a small developer paging system and was the first to offer voicemail on pagers. To compete with Southern Bell and other Bell companies, it set its price about 20% below rivals' prices. Initially, PageNet used geographic segmentation to identify attractive markets in Ohio and Texas, where local competitors were vulnerable to its aggressive pricing. Ethical choice of market segment. Market targeting sometimes generates public controversy. The public is concerned when marketers take unfair advantage of vulnerable groups or disadvantaged groups or promote potentially harmful products.
So, for the keynote of this lesson is that it is important for the marketers to choose their target market in a social and responsible manner. So, in this, they can ensure it by targeting that serves the interest of the market and being targeted as well as the company. So, that is now all for our discussion for today. So, thank you for listening. Once again,
Once again, I'm Shane Marie Danao, the first reporter.
and I am Princess Margarett Galopo, the second reporter.
And I'm Franchesca Daniella Castaneda, the last reporter.
So, in behalf of our co-member Jandee Bautista, we would like to thank you for listening to our presentation for today. So, goodbye and enjoy your day. Bye-bye. Say bye. Bye.